Hello and welcome to the Filmspeak podcast. My name's Amanda,
And I'm Adam.
and this is our weekly conversation about movies. Dave is not here today, and Adam and I are having a phone conversation, so if it sounds a little bit different, that's why. But
We're
any,
doing a POD podcast,
yeah.
payable on death tribute. I feel so alive.
Great. um,
Here come the boys from Southtown. Boom.
boom. Anyway, how is your week? How is your week, Adam?
It was good. How was yours?
It was pretty good. Definitely am off put by like the couple of snow days that we've had. Actually, today wasn't really a snow day, but I kind of woke up and realized that like I didn't want to drive my car, so I stayed home from class today. Yeah, besides that, it's about to be my spring break, and I'm really excited about that. As James Franco would say, spring break.
You'd say, look at all my shit.
Yeah, look at all my shit. Yeah, no, I'm excited for that, even though, I mean, not that this is a complaint because I definitely appreciate the extra hours, but I'm pretty much working every day in the next, like, week, so that should be, I don't know if fun's the right word, but interesting is another word I would use. And
Fun and or interesting.
yeah, and slash or interesting, but I'm looking forward to a few days off of class, so whatever, it'll be good.
Yeah,
And
that's cool.
yeah,
It's always good.
definitely. So, did you watch anything good?
I watched every episode of season 2 of Love, which is a thing I know you're not a fan of yet, but you would be if you tried. But this thing is really great. The first like 6 or 7 episodes play like this like dream-like, long, sort of like, I don't know, interesting like romantic and like adventure between like two people who are like finally just giving it their go. And then like, the season turns from there, I'd say like halfway through into something different and still good, but yeah, the first half of this season is like really amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't have a ton to say about it because I watched it so quickly that I didn't even really like digest a ton of little things. I need to like watch it again, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
But a little slower. And I don't know. It rules. It's cool that Judd Apatow has his hands in like 3 of like my favorite shows on TV. Well, sort of on TV right now, which are Love, Girls, and Crashing, which is turning out to be like really awesome so far. That new Pete Holmes show on HBO,
Oh, okay.
which is like 4 or 5 episodes in at this point.
Cool.
Well, I don't know when this episode will be released, but yeah, at this point, we're like 4 episodes into that, and it's been really good. You should check that out too.
Yeah, definitely. I've definitely been looking for a couple new shows. I was actually talking to my oldest brother last night, and he brought up the show Love, and he's actually already watched the entire second season as well. So I thought that was pretty funny. But
That is funny. Isn't his name my name as well?
no, I do have an older brother named Adam, but this is my other
Okay.
brother, named Greg, which
Got
is
it.
funny because we also work with a Greg. But
Greg.
yeah, yeah.
Greg.
What?
Nothing. Sorry, that's awkward.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Wait. So, did you watch anything else besides Love?
I watched Doctor Strange, which is so-so. I don't really have a ton to say about it other than visually it looks awesome. And it's sort of fun to see, like, these actors, Mads Mikkelsen and Tilda Swinton going, like, full in on, like, a weird, like, sci-fi thing. Mads Mikkelsen has, like, makeup, like, goofy-ass looking makeup under his eyes the whole time and stuff, so
Nice.
I don't know. It's worth checking out, but it's nothing special. Kind of like the origin story is sort of and I don't know. It's written like a little boring, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
That was
yeah.
like.
Other than that, I watched an old Joseph Kahn teen slasher comedy that got like overlooked from like 2008 or 9, I think, called Detention.
Is that with the guy from the Hunger Games in it?
Yeah, is it Pettifer? Alex Pettifer? I know
Oh,
Alex Pettyfer's Magic Mike kid.
yeah, Alex Pettyfer's from Magic Mike, but I'm thinking of
Ugh, that kid.
Josh something.
Hutcherson.
Yes, Josh Hutcherson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
that guy was
That
in a lot
movie.
of my childhood movies, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is a little crazy.
Yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, that movie's really awesome. If you've never seen it, you should check it out. It's like a really smart, like satire, sort of on like, it's very of the time. It dates itself, but like sort of on purpose.
Yeah.
And looking back on it, it's like really awesome. I hadn't seen it before, but I'm saying like looking back on how that is like reflected in this story is like really funny. Like all the specific things from that era. It's good. It's worth checking out.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I do like distinctly remember me having like a couple close calls where I watched that because isn't it streaming on Netflix? Or like wasn't
I
it?
don't know.
Oh,
I have
okay.
a Blu-ray copy of it that I had sitting around for a long time.
Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure
I'm
I've
sure
seen
it
it.
might be.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'll definitely check that out because
Yeah, you should. It's really fun. It's really fun with like Scream 4.
oh, okay.
Or something. Like if you like match those two, it would be like a really awesome double feature with like some homies.
Yeah, and the thing is that I saw Scream 4 before I saw the first Scream. So,
Well, I mean, that's sort of fine.
I mean, yeah, no, I don't think it was like a bad thing at all, but I
It would be
watched it.
different if you saw Scream 3 and then you watched the first one.
Yeah.
I mean, Scream 4 is like a new set of kids at least.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I
it
watched
starts
it.
from a point.
I watched it for Emma Roberts, honestly. But
Dude, that movie's so good. I wish people would like give it a second chance. Like,
yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's great. One other movie I'll just shout out is Everybody Wants Some, which is like Richard Linklater's like Dazed and Confused, like on
Yeah.
like that on Viagra sort of.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
It's okay. The characters are good and stuff, and like sort of realized, but like not fully. And everyone is like a stereotype, and I don't know. Maybe they all like actually existed then, but they're sort of just like annoying assholes. Like half of those
Exactly.
kids.
That's exactly what I. That's exactly
and, like,
what
the
I
ones
walked
who are
with.
cool, it's like you're like I don't know. It's like if have you seen Days of Confused?
Yeah, I love that movie.
It's like if everybody had to hang out with like 5 Ben Afflecks.
Yeah, exactly. No, I
It's
totally
like,
agree with that.
they're all like patting kids on the butt with their butt paddles like all the time, not just one day a year.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that movie a few months ago with my friend Colleen, and not that I think that we should always like draw back and like compare it to Dazed and Confused, but like actually compared to Dazed and Confused, I just thought it was like very hyper masculine because in Dazed and Confused they actually had like way more female characters and like way more going on with like both sexes in the same class.
Yeah.
But Everybody Wants Some was
Yeah.
like all dudes, and I do remember being excited for it. But when I watched it, I was like, I don't like any of these guys.
Yeah,
like I really
feel
don't.
Like, I feel like the masculinity part of it doesn't like it is very upfront, but it doesn't bother me in the sense that it's upfront. It's just because I understand that it's like it's a movie about that specific time.
Yeah.
But it's still the way the characters are written. I'm like these guys are douchebags.
Yeah.
Like they're not even like cool guys. Like like I understand why it's so beefy because it's just about a college baseball team, but like it still could have been like written a little, I don't know, a little better.
Yeah,
But
I
again,
agree.
It takes place over probably the same like time frame that Days of Confused does, which is mainly the interesting thing I feel like to compare it to, because like they're two totally different times. Where like
Yeah.
summer is about to start in Days of Confused. This is like
The end of summer, start of fall semester.
Yeah, and it's like a totally different vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
But still like party time
Yeah.
for those kids at that time.
Well, I've watched a few things this week. So I actually watched, I have 3 movies to mention today, but 2 of the movies that I watched were ones that I used to watch all the time in middle school, specifically, now that I think about it, in the same year. I believe they're both movies that I saw all the time when I was like in 7th grade. But the first one I'm going to mention is Waitress. And it's honestly just like one of the sweetest movies I've ever seen. And it's so centralized like around women, and it shows them like each of the characters, like the three main girls who are like friends working in this restaurant together. They're all in positions where they make like super questionable choices, but they don't like shame each other for making them. And though they may like disagree with each other, they still very much love and like care about each other and are like there for each other when they need them. Well, when they need each other. Not I feel like I said each other like 15 times in the last 30 seconds. I do apologize. But
What's the movie called? Each Other?
yeah, it's called Waitress Each Other. And then yeah, but it's also like, at least from what I can remember, it's one of the first movies I've ever seen about a woman who gets pregnant and like clearly just doesn't really want it, and she like doesn't really feel any connection to this baby that's like growing inside of her. And I remember being off put by that when I was younger, but seeing it as like a 21-year-old now, it's just like it must be extremely relatable for a lot of different people. So I thought that was really cool. And I also love how, I mean, this is a spoiler alert for those who may be listening, but I love how she didn't end up with any of the guys. Like, there's like one of the final scenes where she finally gives birth to her daughter, and it's like it shows like the two main men in her life, her like abusive dickhead husband, and then the guy that she had an affair with, who is actually her doctor throughout the pregnancy. It shows them like completely out of focus, and she's just like holding her daughter in her arms, and it like completely turns around where she like kicks both of them out of her life. And like, I don't know, it was just really, really sweet to see. And also it was just kind of like, I'm glad that they didn't continue this love story, and that they didn't make this entire movie about her like falling in love with a different man. I don't know, I just thought that was awesome. And then
yeah, it's pretty cool.
yeah, definitely, I think that movie is definitely worth seeing. It's written by a woman, directed by a woman, and it's very much like about women. The second movie I'm gonna mention is
actually real quick. There's a review I'm reading of this. It says it's a vibrant and uplifting comedy. Carrie Russell is tartly irresistible.
Oh my goodness!
Would you agree?
I would, and also that's very like punny because the whole time.
The poster of this movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, the entire movie, so she, like, her, like, the main character is, like, a really good, like, she makes pies, and that's, like, what she's passionate about. And so, like, throughout the movie, she's, like, there's parts where she's just, like, sitting and thinking and, like, making up pies in her head. And it'll be, like, okay, so, like, her husband will do something really shitty because that's all he does in the movie. And then she'll be, like, I hate my husband pie, and like come up with some like random recipe that she's thinking of. And it's like her goal in the movie to like open up her own pie shop and everything. So that's like a very big part of the movie. So them making like dessert and tart and pie jokes, just it makes sense. But it's also just very cheesy. But the second movie is actually August Rush, which I'm not proud of. It's like it's definitely one of the
I don't know what that movie's about.
Oh my god. Okay. It's like
the name is amazing.
It's okay, so it's like it's one of the cheesiest and like most sentimental movies I've ever seen in my life. But it's about this orphan who is played by Freddie Highmore when he's little, and he just has this like gift where he like hears music every single place he goes, and he has this like scenario in his head that like his parents are out there and they're like looking for him, and they also have this like they're like the ones that like gave him like the gift of music basically. So it's like this journey of like him trying to find his parents. And that, I mean, obviously at the end they like find each other, but the whole time he like yeah, he like okay, the whole time he's like learning to play music. Robin Williams is in it, and he's actually like the villain who runs this like really like he like shelters kids in this really like broken down building, but also makes them like do street performers and like takes half of the tips that they make basically, even though they're all like really talented musicians and deserve way better. And I mean, also they're like fucking kids, so that's super messed up. But
They're like fucking kids.
yeah, and yeah, and then like the kid ends up somehow landing himself in like Juilliard and like thinks that he gets away, and so there's all this like conflict, and then at the end he like has this like he's 11 years old, okay. uh,
At the end of his 11-year-old life.
Yeah. And then at the end of the movie he has this like big concert, and of course like his parents find him. Oh, also Carrie Russell also is the mother in this movie.
Oh,
and
shit.
yeah,
is it like a sequel to Waitress?
no. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's any pies in this movie. But yeah. Shame. Oh, also Jonathan Rhys Meyers is the dad, and so
that guy is straight up just a name to me. I have no idea.
Oh my god!
What he actually looks like.
Oh my god.
Well, I don't think I do, at least.
Have you ever seen or heard of like The Tudors?
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy's wild. That's a wild man. But anyway, he's the dad, and he's wholesome in this one.
He's a wild dad.
He is a wild dad. But yeah, so as I said before, like Robin Williams is the villain, and I talk about this so much throughout the podcast, but like I love Robin Williams with all my heart, and there is a part where like he smiled and I literally teared up and I was like, I need to fucking stop watching this, but of course I didn't. And then yeah, so I don't think I would recommend this movie, but I will be honest and admit that I've probably seen this movie more than 10 times in my life, which is just crazy. But I was looking at all the ratings on Letterboxd, and everyone was rating it like 2 stars and under, and they were like, "What the fuck is this?"
You're like 5 stars.
Yeah, I actually had to swallow my pride and rate it 2 stars as well, but it's.
Oh my god.
I know, it was really hard. Yeah, no, I remember seeing that in theaters with my mom, and it was, I don't know, it was just a movie, like, every time it would be on HBO after that, like, we would somehow watch it, I feel like, and, yeah, so, but the last movie I want to mention before we move on is The Handmaiden, and holy shit, it was so good. I, like, already want to watch it again. It's the newest movie by Park Chan-wook. But yeah, this movie, it's actually available. If you have Amazon Prime, it's available on, like, as part of your Prime membership, which I found out and freaked out about because I thought that I was going to have to pay, like, $6 for it.
Shit, I almost paid $20 for a DVD recently.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah. It's not available on DVD, or it's not available on Blu-ray, and I didn't realize it was streaming. I mean, I figured I could find it streaming somewhere, but I wanted the Blu-ray, basically.
Yeah.
But I'll never get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember us talking about how it wasn't going to be released on Blu-ray, but it is on Amazon, and it is, like, if you have Amazon Prime, it's you can just stream it right away, which I thought is, like, so crazy, because I really couldn't find it anywhere other than DVD at work, so. But yeah, no, I think this may be, like, a really bold statement, but as somebody who has seen Stoker and Oldboy and now The Handmaiden over the last few months, I really think this is the one that I enjoyed the most, even though I did really love the other two. Or actually, I didn't really love Oldboy, but I was able to admire, like, so many things about it.
Something.
Yeah, no, it's a lot to take in. I don't know. This movie was just so fucking cool. If they took a novel called Fingersmith by Sarah Waters, which is actually based in, like, a Victorian-era Britain, and they applied it seamlessly to, like, a completely different culture. Like, the entire movie was shot in Japanese and Korean. And,
nice.
Yeah, no, it was so cool. Yeah, like, not to be dramatic, but I really think that this movie, like, unfroze my blood and, like, made my heart start beating again. It was so good. There's one thing... There's one thing that I kind of want to just like mention or just like say, because after I watched it, I did like so much reading about it online, about like its reception, especially in South Korea and everything. And I don't know. So it bothers me that I've been reading a lot about like, especially from like Western feminists, like mostly like American feminists. They're upset that like this movie is a story about lesbians and it's like super under the male gaze. But obviously like this director is a man, and I really think that he did it as like respectfully as he could. And like since he's a man, I think there's always going to be a presence of like female sexuality under the male gaze. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be there no matter what, no matter how hard he tries, I feel. But I think that all of these perspectives, these like negative perspectives specifically, kind of undermine that this movie is about, it's like a pretty much like a lesbian love story, and it was made in South Korean, and it was like a huge box office success, which is almost unheard of. So I don't really think that people should be like shitting on it, because it's really like it's kind of like a landmark in a lot of different ways for like a completely different culture. Also, there's like a lot of people from the reviews I've been reading that they're like, "Oh, this movie is like really like kinky and like erotic," but I think they're also ignoring the fact that like all of the scenes that fall under that category are the parts that like the two leading women in the movie are completely disgusted by. And when I was watching it, I could clearly see this for myself, and it like definitely wasn't supposed to be like necessarily like sexy or like arousing almost. So I don't know. Seeing other people's like perspectives about that kind of sucked. But that's just something that I wanted to like say out loud. Like it was very clear that like yeah, there were those parts in the movie, but they were kind of supposed to be more psychologically fucked up than anything, I think.
Sure.
So I don't know. I just wanted to like say that out loud because I was doing so much reading about it last night. But yeah.
These terrifying psychological sex scenes are ultra kinky.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, really, it's just like, I feel like it's just like a bunch of guys sitting around that are like, holy shit, boobs and butts, you know? But like,
yeah, they're like, I need me a handmaiden.
Yeah, ew.
That's everybody wants.
Yeah, pretty much.
Watching the handmaiden.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean that movie was awesome. I think it's definitely one of my favorite movies. If not in the top 10, then at least the top 5 that came out in 2016. I really like. I've been recommending it so hard the last couple of days to pretty much everyone I've been talking to. So, if you're listening and you're interested, you should definitely go out of your way to see that one. But yeah.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, definitely. But
also, it's worth saying. I'm just going to jump on the Amazon thing. Catastrophe season 3 is coming out soon.
What is Catastrophe?
That show's amazing. It's Rob Delaney and this woman Sharon Horgan from the UK. She made like some other like UK like sitcoms. But basically, Rob Delaney's like a character from the US, and she's like from England, and they meet and like have sex and basically get pregnant, and then like they have to deal with it. And
yeah.
It is amazing. Like, it's only like 12 episodes over 2 seasons, but the 3rd season's coming out soon. But yeah, you should definitely watch that.
So is it more of like a dark comedy, or is it more of a drama?
It's not really a dark comedy. It's like a relationship like comedy, but they're just such asshole people to each other, or sort of, you know, like they're very like real people. Like, I don't know, it's so funny. You should definitely check it out.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely will.
Really smart.
That sounds awesome.
And it's not a big waste of time, like if you don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
How long are the episodes? You said there's
20 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're like 25, 29-minute episodes. But I think it's really great.
That sounds good. I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah, and Transparent, too, is really good.
Oh, is that the one with the guy from Arrested Development playing the trans character?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been like hearing a lot about it, but I actually haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, I need to. I had like an Amazon Prime like free trial a while ago, and we burned through all that stuff. But then there's something, I think Sneaky Pete is like a new Amazon show that I also want to watch.
Yeah,
it's
is
like,
that the one by
apparently like Breaking Bad-esque.
Bryan Cranston? Didn't he like create it or something like that? Or he's like super involved with it at least.
And what's his name? Giovanni Ribisi. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't jump on your bandwagon there.
Oh no, it's okay. But no, I the past couple of times I've gone to the movie theater, I've seen, you know, those like pre-show things that they do like before the trailers. They always do, or like they have been doing one about Sneaky Pete, so that's like how I've heard of it mainly. But I haven't really heard anything about it
so
since.
Sneaky.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know a movie that we both watched. I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore, which is a very recent movie that just got added to Netflix about a woman who's really like depressed and tired of being a pushover, and she teams up with her neighbor to find the robbers that broke into her house. And it's starring Melanie Linsky and Elijah Wood. And hold on, who? I wrote down the director. Who is it?
Macon Blair.
Yes. So I was reading about this movie earlier, and I've seen a lot of reviews, especially on Letterboxd, that compares this movie to Blue Ruin. And like, I haven't seen that movie, but I did like find out that Macon Blair and Jeremy Saulnier are like close friends and collaborators and colleagues. So it definitely makes sense that like there's a heavy influence there if they work together closely all the time.
Yeah, he's in Blue Ruin. He's the main actor.
Oh, I didn't realize that he was actually starring in it, but that's cool.
Yeah, Macon Blair. This is the first movie that he's directed.
Okay.
He wrote this too. I don't know if it's the first thing he's written, but yeah, he was in Green Room and Blue Ruin and Murder Party, which are all Jeremy Saulnier movies. Blue Ruin, he's like the main character.
Okay. Who was he?
It's like a revenge movie. I'd say it's like this movie. I compare it like Blue Ruin meets like Big Lebowski, basically. I'd compare it to that.
Who was he in Green Room?
He's like the guy who's trying to be like the key holder at the club. Like he's the one with the short hair. No, he's like the Nazi who is like running. Like he basically is like running the whole building there when Patrick Stewart's not there.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
He's like the shorter guy.
Yeah.
Who like commands everybody to do things, but he doesn't do much until the end.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I know who you're talking about now, but I think that's pretty.
And he's in this movie too. He has a cameo.
Oh.
He's at the bar scene, like when she's at the bar after work in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And the guy, she's like reading like a sci-fi
and the
novel.
guy like spoils the entire fucking book for her.
Yeah, that is like, it's like the worst. Like I feel so bad for Melanie Linsky in that scene.
Yeah.
Or even worse for Ruth, actually, not Melanie Linsky.
Yeah.
But yeah, poor Ruth is like thinking she's like meeting like a nice man, and then like he just spoils the end of her book.
And then walks
away.
away.
He isn't even in like that book. It could have been like the next one or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just like, come on, man.
He's like, the clues were there all along, if you think about it. And then he like walks away. I was like, what an asshole.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Yeah, but
no, that's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny that he's such like a sort of like a minor character, but like such a big point for like her mood. Like a big point for her.
Oh yeah, that was like a very. I mean, the whole like beginning. I feel like the first few minutes in the movie are very like. I don't want to say like character development, but definitely is just like it sets the mood for like all the shit that she's going through. I have it in my notes that like Melanie Linsky is definitely perfectly casted here. I really don't think anybody else could like replace like her in this movie. But it's like her being like cut off in line and like that guy knocking shit down in the grocery store for like her to pick up, and then It's like also like the super like racist patient that like fucking died in front of her. It all
and then there's like the family is asking about it, and like the other doctor who happens to be like a black man like refers to her as if like she's gonna have to say this awful racist shit that she said.
Oh my god. Yeah, and then it's like yeah.
So good.
Yeah, and it's just like I don't know, it's just very clear that she like obviously just wants to see people do like the decent or the right thing.
Once.
And yeah, just like for once throughout the entire movie, like that's all she wants, and she doesn't really get it.
Nope.
And it's just it's just crazy.
Well,
but
yeah, I mean, she doesn't get that, but toward the end, she does get something. Like,
oh yeah,
it is rewarding.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But it's like it's not a very long movie, but it's a very long struggle of her like trying to get that. So yeah. Yeah, no, I thought she was awesome. My favorite scene was honestly, it was like such a small scene, but it was also in the beginning. But it was just her being like woken up by the little girl who was like handing her a drawing, and she was just like, I fucking love it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was awesome. It was like so.
Yeah, she's the best, like, I don't know, like, almost like motherly, like, presence, sort of. Like, she's just so, like, nice.
Yes.
And calming. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, she's really great. Damn, like, so much, like, funny stuff with her character, though. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, when she meets Tony, who's Elijah Wood's character, and, like, I think it's like the middle of the movie, at some point, this isn't, like, a spoiler, but he is outside waiting for her in a car, and she, like, has this, like, emotional scene with a police officer, and then, like, right off the bat, like, she walks out of the building, she's potentially, like, pissed off, and there's this, like, music playing, and then it's, like, it's just Tony actually playing it from her car, like, super loud. It's just, like, so, like, awkward. Did you, like, catch that?
Yeah, I did.
It's funny little moments like that.
Yeah.
Just, like, her, like, it's just, like, one, like, a stack of annoyances.
Yeah,
basically.
definitely.
And she just deals with it so well. I, like, laughed out loud when she was in the supermarket and, like, the guy dropped the chips or whatever again for the second time. She's like, pick your shit up.
Oh, yeah, and then she, like, cuts another guy in line, and she makes that, like, overly proud face to, like, cut someone else in line for once.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, go you get it.
I love it. Like, yeah, she's, like, in the middle of this, like, crazy, like, thing that she barely is, like, grasping, like, how big it's gonna get. And, like, she just, like, her small victories are, like winning and, like, jumping in front of the grocery store line.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I also loved, okay, so so ever since I saw Lord of the Rings as a young 6-year-old child, I've been, like, very creeped out by Elijah Wood in, like, a very general sense. Also, it's, like, that, and then, like, the movie Maniac from 2012, I was just like, I cannot, like, look at this man. But, yeah, oh my goodness. But yeah, but it's kind of interesting to me how, like, his career has definitely taken a turn, and he's almost exclusively doing movies like this now. But I do love his character in this movie as well. Because I feel like throughout our podcast, we've watched a lot of movies where, like, there's this very questionable, like, moral, like, character that has, like, a moral compass. And in this movie, I think Tony is that character. Like, specifically when Ruth stole the lawn tiger, and he was, like, genuinely upset about it.
Yeah.
And then also the scene where he was, like, praying before they got out of the car, and Ruth was just like, are you praying? And I think it's like those are two, I guess, like, small parts in retrospect, or, like, small moments, but I think it adds to, like, their normalcy, because when it comes down to it, this is just, like, they're two, like, very, like, average people, I feel like, so those moments just kind of, it was, like, a positive addition, or, like, a positive, like, layer added to the story in the movie.
Well, and then also that adds up to sort of, like, what happens to her at the end when she's, like, looking for him again.
When she what?
When she's, like, looking for him again
in
the woods.
Oh, yeah.
She, you know what I'm saying? Like, That's pretty. I don't know. Like that moment is like unexplained totally, but it's sort of. If what you're saying is that like he's the like moral compass, that character literally is at the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
So like the build up is there that like because like she chose this like the nice side or something. I don't know. Like there is like a weird morality thing to the movie.
Yeah, definitely a weird morality thing, but also it's like that. I mean, there's also just like they genuinely care about each other, especially towards the end, even though they meet in like a very like confrontational and like abrasive way. Like it definitely, they're like, I don't know if it's necessarily a romantic thing, and I don't really care if it is, but like it's definitely shown that they like really start genuinely caring. So that was cool to see too. Also,
I have
oh
in my
sorry.
notes a heart next to their name. It says
Aww.
Ruth and Tony with a heart next to it.
Another thing was that so like Jane Levy looked crazy in this movie, or like she was crazy, like absolutely insane.
I didn't know it was her.
Oh really?
Like until after the fact, yeah.
I
guess I didn't think about like her name. I didn't recognize her name from Don't Breathe.
Okay.
And I didn't recognize her face because she has like different like hair color in this movie. So.
Yeah, I recognized her, cause like, okay, so I've seen her in a lot of things, and I've been like kind of, I guess I would say I've been following her career because the first thing I saw her in was like the first season of Shameless, and I've been watching Shameless since it like began airing in 2011. But she was like a character in it, and she ended up moving on to a different show and getting recasted in Shameless. But then the next thing I saw her in was the Evil Dead remake, and then and then after that was Don't Breathe, and then I just like randomly see her in this movie, and I just like I think I'm always gonna be able to recognize her because of her eyes. Actually, like as soon as I saw her eyes, I was like, "Is that Jane Levy?" Yeah, but she was like her character in this was like almost feral. Like she was just absolutely insane. And she's really I mean, she's really good at doing that. So, I mean, good on her, but geez.
No, she's wild. At the end, I had to rewind it because I couldn't even tell like what happens at the big like shootout scene.
Oh yeah.
I still kind of don't. Does she like shoot herself, or like does the shotgun go off like on her?
The shotgun like backfires, I guess, because she didn't. If you remember, she was like having trouble loading the gun. So she may have just like done something like incorrectly, which made the gun backfire, and she like I think she like blew off her hand.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's what happened there.
It was wild. She's like holding her hand. I couldn't tell if it was her hand or her stomach or like a combination of both.
It may have been a combination of both, but like definitely more her hand.
I mean, the violence in this movie, when it comes, it's harsh. Like,
yeah, it's very fast paced.
I kind of couldn't believe it because like the movie doesn't, you know, at first it feels like I compare it to Big Lebowski because it doesn't. The violence isn't super there in Big Lebowski. Like they like mess with him a little bit, but it's more like weird shit they do to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like actual violence. So like it reminded me of that because like it feels like an episode of Scooby-Doo or something. Like at first, where like the mystery is like, you know, so minor, but she's gonna solve it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. And then it turns into when it gets real, like when the character, his name is Donkey Dick, played by Derek Mears, who's the guy who was in like the Friday the 13th remake as Jason, who's this like 7 foot, you know, like crazy tall dude,
yeah,
big beefy dude. When he like breaks her finger, it's just like, oh my god, like this shit's real at this point.
This movie like is actually like completely bonkers in my opinion. Like it just gradually. It's less than 2 hours long, which I really liked. I liked the fact that it was less than 2 hours long, but it's just like gradually gets like crazier. I feel like, and then like that shootout scene specifically, like that all like you said, it happens so quickly.
Yeah, like it's like 2 hour movie, under a 2 hour movie, but it's like 7 different fucking genres. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's like the like Western shootout scene. There's like, you know, like the like crazy woods chase scene you would see in like, you know, like I Spit on Your Grave, something like that.
Yeah.
There's like the romantic stuff a little bit. There's like just a random like almost, you know, the beginning almost plays like it could be like a like Seth Rogen comedy, like a guy down on his luck like at a bar. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
It feels like it feels like so many different types of things, which is why it's so exciting. I'm like reeling over it still.
Yeah.
And that perfect like goofy ass like jazz sort of like new jazz music that's playing behind it. All like it's really funny the whole time.
Yeah, definitely.
Makes it feel like surreal, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it very much is. But yeah, I really
and also,
enjoyed
like,
it.
Where are they? Like, did you ever pick that up?
Um,
Like, I get that it's supposed to be like any town USA, you know?
Yeah, no, I don't think they specifically, like, really narrowed that down to a specific city, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But it just seemed like a very average town that had, like, both, like, the middle income and then, like, the very, very wealthy family house and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my god, speaking of that, I loved the wife.
Oh, yeah, she is, I wrote her down in my notes because she's, did you ever see or have you heard of Hello Ladies on HBO?
Hello, what?
Hello Ladies?
Oh, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's like Stephen Merchant, who is like pretty funny. I hadn't seen like a ton of his like earlier work, but he was on like The British Office. I've seen that, and like some other stuff that people really enjoy.
Yeah.
But that show is really good, and she's like the lead, the female character in that, and they're sort of like romantic, but that show is also like a good take on like what like falling for someone is actually like, sort of.
Yeah.
So that show is worth checking out too. Yeah, she's a great actress. She's really funny.
Nice. I'm pretty sure that's the first thing I've ever seen her in, but I definitely really enjoyed her and her character.
Yeah, she's great.
The fucking cappuccinos. I was like, are you kidding?
yeah, when the husband and his like bodyguard come home.
Yeah.
The bodyguard's like sweeping the house.
Yeah.
He's like running like all throughout every room, like it's clear, it's clear, it's clear. So good. So much like awesome like comedy in this movie too. Very like Fargo, like hard violence, but like also witty and actually funny. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely, yeah. So, who would you recast?
I thought the guy who played Marshall, who's like the like older sleazebag guy that they're like running around with, was good, but it would be fun to see him as like Rutger Hauer's character from like Hobo with a Shotgun, just like totally like maniacal, like ridiculous. You know, I kind of wish he had like more to say at least. Like the guy I probably wouldn't recast him had he been sort of written a little more like up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But thinking about it now, it's like it'd be funny as shit to see like Hobo with a Shotgun, like in this, like that character, like placed in this world. Have you ever seen that movie, Hobo with a Shotgun?
I actually have not.
It's seriously so bananas, and it's like ridiculously violent, like school bus full of kids on fire, violent and shit. It's really, really ridiculous.
Nice. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I definitely have not seen it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Who would you recast?
I would recast Christian, who's like the blonde, like robber guy. I guess like the main robber guy.
The son.
Yeah, the son, and like he's like really creepy and played by Devin Gray. I think I would recast him with Ezra Miller from.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I would recast him. He's the guy from that Tilda Swinton movie. Oh, We Need to Talk About Kevin, and from like Perks of Being a Wallflower. He's like a very interesting looking guy, but he also plays those like really dark and fucked up characters like super well. So I think he would have been like a good fit for this type of character because obviously that kid was just like super disturbed. But yeah, did you have anything else you wanted to say about?
Oh no, sorry. That is perfect casting though.
Nice.
That kid's awesome. I love Ezra Miller. I wish he was like around more.
Yeah, me too, definitely.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He's so good in Perks of Being a Wallflower. That movie's so wish more people talked about it.
Yeah, I kind of wish that I had read the novel at like a younger age than I did because I feel like.
That was like my book.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, that's why like I'm such a huge fan of that.
Yeah, I kind of wish that I'd read it when I was like a little bit younger because I probably would have like related to it way more. But it was still, I mean, it was still really good. Obviously, it left a mark on like so many people, especially like our age. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, one last thing I wanted to say about this movie, I like loved that it basically all gets summed up at that last scene where like she falls in the river, or like the like little swamp area. I mean like the gross like swamp, and the snake like passes her by,
Yes.
and then like it goes and like bites the villain. You know, like it's such like a perfect like end cap moment to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Like how all over the place it is, you know, like it comes down to something that's like man versus nature, not man versus man.
Yeah. No, that part was
Pretty
super awesome.
cool.
I think that if you are somebody who likes fun and who likes dark comedy, then you would definitely enjoy this movie. I definitely recommend it to those of you who may be listening.
Cool. But I gotta roll.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's say goodbye to Adam.
Peace, gods.
Alright, I'll talk to you later.
Later.
Bye. But yeah, that wraps it up for this episode of Filmspeak. If you like what you've been hearing, make sure you check us out on social media. We are on Instagram at Filmspeak, Twitter at FilmspeakPod. We have a YouTube channel, and I'm actually working on our second video for that right now. We're on SoundCloud, and we are on iTunes, thanks to me. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will see you next week. Bye, y'all.